If it rattle like a snake and it's little like a snake, is it a snake, or do you need to be bit?
That's 50 Cent labeling his own flesh and blood as a traitor. Known for his fiery personality and high-profile beefs, 50 Cent has never been one to shy away from confrontation. But amidst all the drama, nothing could prepare him for the shocking betrayal he faced from his own son, Marquise.
Because you keep seeing the boy show up with people that I'm having differences with, and it's showing you that he feels like I'm his enemy.
One example of what Fitty is talking about is that one time that Marquise was spotted in a photo with Kyle McGriff, son of the notorious kingpin Kenneth Supreme McGriff, a man linked to an attack on 50 Cent's life, which resulted in him being shot 9 times. 50 Cent perceived this as the ultimate act of betrayal. I don't blame him, because who wouldn't? But do you think hating your own son is too much? Fitty seems like he's made up his mind, though.
50, you love your son? I used to.
In fact, 50 Cent once boldly said, if both these little got hit by a bus, I wouldn't have a bad day. Keep watching as we delve deeper into this captivating tale of family turmoil, betrayal, and its far-reaching consequences. Why 50 Cent hates his son. It was a feud that captivated the public's attention, a bitter battle between a rap superstar and his own son. But how did it all begin? Marquise Jackson entered the world on a crisp autumn day, October 13th, 1996, as the firstborn son of 50 Cent, who at the time was on the brink of hip-hop domination. The birth of Marquise was a beacon of hope for 50 Cent, who at the time was grappling with the harsh realities of street life and an unforgiving music industry. Marquise's arrival symbolized a new chapter, a chance for 50 Cent to build a legacy beyond the gritty narratives of his raps. As Marquise grew, so did 50 Cent's career, skyrocketing with the release of Get Rich or Die Trying in the early 2000s. The album catapulted the rapper to stardom, and with it came the relentless glare of the public eye. For young Marquise, this meant a childhood spent in the limelight, his formative years unfolding against a backdrop of gold records and grandiose tours. The world watched as he was lavished with the trappings of success, from extravagant birthday parties to courtside seats at NBA games. However, the sheen of celebrity life did not shield Marquise from the complexities of his father's world. 50 Cent's past was riddled with feuds and legal battles, elements that seeped into his role as a father. Among these conflicts was one with Marquise's mother, Shaniqua Tompkins. The relationship between 50 Cent and Shaniqua Tompkins is characterized by a mix of love, animosity, and legal battles. In the early years of their relationship, 50 Cent and Shaniqua Tompkins were reportedly close and supportive of each other. However, as 50 Cent's career in the music industry began to take off, tensions between them started to surface. Their relationship became strained, exacerbated by the demands of 50 Cent's rising fame and his busy schedule. One of the significant turning points in their relationship was their highly publicized breakup in the early 2000s. The split was accompanied by bitter disputes over child support, custody arrangements, and financial matters. Despite the challenges, Marquise's early years were also marked by moments of tenderness between father and son. 50 Cent's songs occasionally featured shout-outs to his little man, and the rapper's social media brimmed with snapshots of the duo sharing smiles and laughter. But as Marquise stepped into adolescence, the relationship with his father began to show signs of strain. The once frequent public appearances together dwindled, and the warm exchanges turned cold. The turning point in their relationship seemed to coincide with 50 Cent's financial and legal battles, including a highly publicized bankruptcy filing and a lawsuit involving Marquise's mother. 50 Cent had paid Marquise's mother, Shaniqua Tompkins, a staggering $1.3 million in child support. This substantial amount was intended to afford Marquise opportunities that 50 Cent himself never had. But Marquise felt that it wasn't enough. Shaniqua Tompkins sued 50 Cent for a jaw-dropping $50 million, not for child support, but for allegedly burning down their house in 2008. The suspicious 4 a.m. blaze had leveled their $2.4 million mansion in Tony Dix Hills, leaving Shaniqua and Marquise lucky to have survived. Even the local fire chief found the situation to be highly unusual, stating that the fire was definitely suspicious due to the volume and speed at which it spread. The accusations were extreme, claiming that 50 Cent had attempted to kill her and their own child. However, the lawsuit never went to trial, leaving the truth behind the incident shrouded in mystery. Despite the legal battle, 50 Cent continued to financially support Shaniqua and Marquise. The child support amount of $1.3 million translated to around $6,700 per month. Many people would consider this a substantial sum, but Marquise had different expectations. New York City, where Marquise and Shaniqua resided, is known for its high cost of living. In 2009, the average cost of rent for a 2-bedroom apartment was around $2,400 and by 2019, it had risen to approximately $3,200. Let's not forget other living expenses such as utilities, internet, car payments, insurance, and food. Taking all these factors into account, it becomes evident that $6,700 per month is a significant amount of money. However, Marquise believed that he deserved a certain lifestyle as the son of a rap superstar. He claimed to have lived in 13-bedroom mansions, flown on private jets, and traveled the world. Going back to an average lifestyle was simply not acceptable to him. Many people labeled Marquise as spoiled and entitled, but he vehemently denied these claims. In his eyes, he had experienced a life of luxury and believed that it was his due as the son of a rap superstar. He expected to be showered with expensive gifts, travel in style, and live in opulent surroundings. However, 50 Cent had a different perspective. He wanted Marquise to understand the value of hard work and not rely solely on his father's wealth. 50 Cent himself had come from humble beginnings and had worked tirelessly to achieve success. He wanted Marquise to experience the satisfaction of earning things for himself rather than simply being handed everything. Moreover, 50 Cent felt that his son was heavily influenced by his mother.
When I said that he's entitled, really it's his mom's entitlement. It's been filtered.
The clash of expectations and perspectives created a deep divide between father and son. While Marquise felt entitled to a lavish lifestyle, 50 Cent believed that his son needed to work for his own money and appreciate the value of hard-earned success. The discrepancy between the financial support provided by 50 Cent and Marquise' expectations fueled the flames of their feud. Marquise felt that his father's contributions were not enough to maintain the lifestyle he believed he deserved. Beyond the financial battles and public feuds, there lies a deeper layer to the strained relationship between 50 Cent and his son Marquise. It's a story of missed birthdays, absent milestones, and a longing for a genuine connection. Marquise wanted more than just financial support from his father. He longed for emotional support, the presence of his father on important occasions, and a genuine relationship. But as the years went by, it became clear that 50 Cent's busy schedule and fame often took precedence over his son's emotional needs. The missed birthdays were a recurring theme in their troubled relationship. Marquise expressed his disappointment that his father never called him on his special day or bothered to get him a gift for his birthday or Christmas. These seemingly small gestures held great significance for Marquise as they represented a father's love and attention. The absence of 50 Cent at important milestones in Marquise's life further deepened the emotional wounds. When Marquise graduated from high school in May of 2014, his father was noticeably absent. It was a momentous occasion that Marquise had hoped his father would be there to witness, but his absence spoke volumes. The longing for a genuine connection between father and son was palpable. Marquise yearned for his father's emotional support, understanding, and guidance. He wanted 50 Cent to be there for him, not just as a provider of financial support, but as a loving and involved father. On the other hand, 50 Cent, being a superstar with a demanding schedule, found it challenging to balance his career and personal life. While he may have had the best intentions, the pressures of fame and the demands of his career often took precedence over his son's emotional needs. The public airing of their relationship issues only served to exacerbate the emotional wounds. Instead of resolving their differences in private, 50 Cent and Marquise chose to air their grievances on social media, in interviews, and through tabloid outlets. This public spectacle further strained their already fragile bond. The toxic cycle of public feuds, petty behavior, and sarcastic remarks only deepened the emotional wounds between father and son. Instead of addressing their issues directly, they resorted to making light of serious situations for the sake of public attention and engagement. It's clear that the emotional wounds run deep for both 50 Cent and Marquise. The most toxic aspect of this ongoing feud is the lack of direct communication between 50 Cent and Marquise. Instead of sitting down and having a heartfelt conversation, they choose to air their differences through social media, interviews, and tabloid outlets. This only perpetuates the cycle of pain and prevents any real resolution from taking place. In 2018, the feud between father and son reached its peak. Marquise Jackson's betrayer.
Fifth, you love me? I used to.
In the world of hip-hop, alliances and rivalries can run deep. And for 50 Cent, a man who had survived being shot 9 times, the wounds of the past were still fresh. So in 2018, when he saw a photo of his son Marquis posing with Kyle McGriff, the son of the infamous kingpin Kenneth Supreme McGriff, it struck a nerve. Kenneth Supreme McGriff, currently serving a life sentence in federal prison for a long list of crimes, including an attack on 50 Cent himself. The scars of that incident ran deep, and the sight of his son associating with the offspring of the man who had tried to to take his life was a painful reminder of the past. Under the post, 50 Cent boldly wrote, "If both these little got hit by a bus, I wouldn't have a bad day." Posting up with McGriff in that photo was seen by 50 Cent as a significant sign of disrespect from Marquise. While many viewed 50 Cent's comment as disrespectful and unimaginable, something they would never say to their own child, it's important to grasp the rivalry between the notorious kingpin Kenneth Supreme McGriff and 50 Cent. Kenneth Supreme McGriff's story begins in the housing projects of South Jamaica, Queens, a breeding ground for some of New York's most notorious criminals. Born in the late 1960s, McGriff grew up in an environment where the temptations of the street were a siren call to the youth. It was here, amidst the chaos of poverty and the crack cocaine epidemic of the 1980s, that McGriff found his calling. The Supreme Team, McGriff's brainchild, was not just a gang. It was a sophisticated criminal enterprise. Under McGriff's leadership, the Supreme Team rose to prominence, controlling large swaths of Queens with an iron grip. The organization's operations were vast, dealing in multi-kilogram quantities of narcotics, and their reputation for violence was well known. McGriff, with his keen business acumen and ruthless approach, became a figure of both respect and fear. The Supreme Team's influence extended beyond the drug trade. They were cultural trendsetters in the neighborhood, known for their flashy lifestyle, which included luxury cars, designer clothes, and extravagant parties. This opulence was a stark contrast to the desolate environment from which they emerged, making McGriff and his crew local legends. Their story was one of rags to riches, a narrative that resonated with many in the community who saw few other avenues to success. McGriff's power was not just economic, it was also social and political. He was known to mediate disputes in the neighborhood and provide for the less fortunate, a Robin Hood-esque figure who took from the rich through criminal means and gave to the poor. This dual nature only added to his mystique and complicated the public's perception of him. However, the law was closing in. The Supreme Team's activities had not gone unnoticed by authorities, and McGriff's name was at the top of law enforcement's list. In the early 1990s, McGriff was convicted on federal narcotics trafficking charges and sentenced to a substantial prison term. His incarceration marked the end of the Supreme Team's reign, but not the end of McGriff's influence. While behind bars, McGriff continued to command respect and maintain connections. He was a student of the game, using his time in prison to further educate himself on the workings of legitimate businesses, all while keeping an ear to the streets. Upon his release in the mid-1990s, McGriff was a changed man, at least on the surface. He attempted to transition into the music industry, a move that many former drug kingpins had made, seeing it as a way to launder their image and their money. McGriff's involvement in the music industry brought him into contact with a new generation of street-oriented artists, one of whom was Curtis Jackson, soon to be known as 50 Cent. Jackson was a hustler turned rapper, whose raw lyrics and tales of street life resonated with the same audience that had once idolized McGriff and the Supreme Team. 50 Cent, who would later take the world by storm as 50 Cent, had a childhood that was anything but easy. Raised in the unforgiving environment of the Bronx, Jackson was orphaned at the tender age of 8 and quickly learned to fend for himself. By the age of 12, he was selling crack on the streets, navigating the perilous waters of drug dealing and gang affiliations. Despite the odds stacked against him, Jackson harbored ambitions that transcended the confines of his upbringing. The late 1990s and early 2000s marked a seismic shift in the hip-hop landscape. It was during this era that 50 Cent began his ascent, his music a raw and unfiltered account of street life. His breakout came with the controversial track Ghetto Koran, which chronicled the history of the Supreme Team and other prominent figures from the Queens drug scene. The song was a bold move, a lyrical expose that peeled back the curtain on the criminal underworld that had shaped his environment. Ghetto Koran was more than just a song. It was a narrative that resonated with those who lived it and a provocation to those who ruled it. The track's vivid portrayal of McGriff and the Supreme Team's exploits was seen as a betrayal by McGriff, a public airing of dirty laundry that threatened to undermine the mystique and respect he had cultivated over the years. For McGriff, who had sought to distance himself from his criminal past and reinvent his image within the music industry, Ghetto Koran was a direct challenge to his authority and legacy. McGriff's past was not to be trifled with, and those who dared to cross that line would face repercussions. 50 Cent's mentor, Jam Master Jay of the legendary group Run DMC, was not deterred by the blacklist. He took 50 Cent under his wing, providing him with studio time and guidance. However, this act of defiance would have tragic consequences. On May 24, 2000, 50 Cent found himself targeted by a gunman outside his grandmother's former residence in South Jamaica. Following a brief stop at a friend's car, he was unexpectedly requested to retrieve some jewelry from the house where his son remained inside and his grandmother was in the front yard. Complying with the request, 50 Cent returned to the back seat of the car, only to be confronted by another vehicle pulling up nearby. In a horrifying turn of events, an assailant approached and unleashed a barrage of 9 shots at close range, wielding a 9mm handgun. 50 Cent endured gunshot wounds to his hand, arm, hip, both legs, chest, and left cheek, resulting in severe injuries. His facial wound, in particular, particular led to a swollen tongue, the loss of a wisdom tooth, and a slightly altered voice. Additionally, his friend sustained injuries to the hand during the attack. Swiftly rushed to a hospital, 50 Cent underwent a 13-day ordeal of medical treatment and recovery. The suspected assailant, Daryl Homicide Baum, a close associate and bodyguard of Mike Tyson, met his demise 3 weeks later under mysterious circumstances. Despite the obstacles, 50 Cent's determination and talent could not be quelled. He signed with Eminem's Shady Records, and his debut album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', catapulted him to international stardom. The album sold over 10 million copies, and 50 Cent became a household name, his music blaring from speakers around the globe. His success was a vindication of his struggles and a testament to his ability to turn adversity into triumph. Yet even as 50 Cent's star rose, the shadow of McGriff loomed large. The streets had not forgotten Ghetto Koran, and McGriff had not forgiven the slight. In October 2002, Jam Master Jay was murdered in his recording studio in Queens, a crime that remains unsolved to this day. While the motive for the killing was never conclusively established, speculation swirled that it was connected to his support of 50 Cent and co-writing Ghetto Koran. Imagine the profound disbelief that washed over 50 Cent when he witnessed his own son mingling with individuals who had inflicted immense pain and hurt upon him. To him, it was not just disrespectful, but his son was seeing him as an enemy.
Because you keep seeing the boy show up with people that I'm having differences with, and it's showing you that he feels like I'm his enemy.
This shocking revelation strained their relationship, casting a shadow over the bond between father and son. The betrayal cut deep, creating an irreparable fracture that seemed to widen with each passing day. Such a breach of trust left 50 Cent grappling with a mix of emotions, from anger and disappointment to profound sadness. It was a painful reminder of the complexities and challenges inherent in familial relationships, where loyalty and betrayal often walk hand in hand. As 50 Cent navigates the turbulent waters of his personal life, grappling with the fallout from the strained relationship with his son, he finds himself immersed in a world of conflict and controversy. However, feuds are nothing new to 50 Cent. They have become an integral part of his public image over the years, shaping his reputation and influencing his interactions within the music industry. Despite achieving immense success as a rapper and entrepreneur, 50 Cent's career has been marked by numerous public disputes and rivalries, each leaving its own indelible mark on his legacy. From heated exchanges with fellow artists to contentious battles with industry figures, these conflicts have often played out on the public stage, captivating audiences and generating headlines worldwide. While some of 50 Cent's feuds have been rooted in personal animosity or professional disagreements, others have been driven by strategic positioning and calculated moves to assert dominance within the competitive landscape of the music industry. 50 Cent's biggest feuds. Back in 1999, 50 Cent stirred controversy with his single How to Rob, taking aim at fellow rappers, including Jay-Z, who responded with "It's hot, some like it hot," questioning 50 Cent's worth in the industry. Over the years, their relationship soured further, with 50 Cent accusing Jay-Z of prioritizing personal gain over loyalty to artists like Beanie Siegel. He also criticized Jay-Z's change in demeanor since marrying Beyonce, suggesting a shift towards elitism and away from the streets. By 2017, tensions reached a peak when 50 Cent labeled Jay-Z's album 444 as golf course music, dismissing its intellectual depth and suggesting it was out of touch with hip-hop's younger audience. This critique extended to Jay-Z's Grammy wins, with 50 Cent attributing much of his success to his association with Beyonce. In interviews, he argued that the music industry favored the couple, granting them awards even when their contributions were peripheral. Despite his own commercial success, 50 Cent felt overlooked, attributing it to his music's polarizing nature compared to the politically palatable image of the Carter Knowles family. Back in the early 2000s, 50 Cent also found himself in a public feud with rapper Ja Rule and Murder Inc. Records. Their dispute escalated when 50 Cent accused Ja Rule of orchestrating a robbery against him. Things came to a head at the Hit Factory in New York in March 2000, where 50 Cent was stabbed during an altercation with Murder Inc. associates. The tension was further fueled by an affidavit linking Murder Inc. to a conspiracy involving Kenneth Supreme McGriff, a suspected drug lord connected to Jam Master Jay's murder and 50 Cent's shooting. Despite the intense rivalry, the feud between 50 Cent and Ja Rule eventually simmered down, officially ending in May 2011. Ja Rule stated that while they wouldn't collaborate, they also wouldn't be at war. However, their animosity resurfaced in 2015 when Ja Rule commented on a feud between Meek Mill and Drake, leading to a fiery exchange on social media. The feud reignited once more in 2018 when Ja Rule publicly called out 50 Cent on Twitter, keeping the tension between the two rappers alive. 50 Cent has also clashed with former allies, notably eventually The Game. Initially, their collaboration seemed like a powerhouse alliance within the hip-hop scene. 50 Cent's involvement in 6 tracks on The Game's debut album, the documentary, hinted at a promising partnership. However, this camaraderie was short-lived. The Game's unwillingness to participate in G-Unit's notorious feuds, particularly against artists like Nas, Jadakiss, and Fat Joe, irked 50 Cent. In the tightly knit circles of G-Unit, such hesitance was viewed as a betrayal, undermining the foundation of trust between the two artists. The rift between the two artists became public when 50 Cent announced on Hot 97 that The Game was no longer a part of G-Unit. The situation escalated rapidly when The Game and his entourage attempted to enter the radio station, resulting in a member of The Game's crew being shot in the leg during a scuffle with a group exiting the building. The severity of the incident led to a joint press conference where the two rappers appeared to reconcile, leaving fans questioning whether the dispute was a publicity stunt to boost album sales. Despite the outward appearance of a truce, the feud was far from over. The Game launched a campaign against G-Unit, coining the term G-Unot and releasing 300 Bars and Runnin', a track that took direct shots at 50 Cent and his associates. In response, 50 Cent's Piggy Bank music video featured a caricature of The Game as Mr. Potato Head, further fueling the fire between them. The back and forth continued with a volley of diss tracks and mixtapes, each more scathing than the last. The Game's Ghost Unit and Stop Snitchin' Stop Lyin' mixtapes were met with 50 Cent's Not Rich Still Lyin', where he mocked The Game's street credibility and personal struggles. In October 2006, The Game extended an olive branch to 50 Cent, but it was short-lived, as he declared the offer expired after just one day. The Game's album Doctor's Advocate hinted at an end to the feud, and in July 2009, he credited Michael Jackson and Diddy with helping to bring the dispute to a close. Despite The Game's public apology, members of G-Unit, including Tony Yayo, indicated that the apology was not accepted. The feud saw a resurgence in 2015 when The Game declared that he and 50 Cent were sworn enemies, vowing never to reconcile. However, in a surprising twist, the two were seen amicably interacting at the Ace of Diamonds strip club in August 2016, with The Game expressing love for 50 Cent and reflecting on the past. The roster of 50 Cent's adversaries extends far beyond the widely publicized feuds, encompassing notable conflicts with figures like P. Diddy, Cameron, and Rick Ross. Each of these feuds carries its own narrative, leaving a lasting impact on the hip-hop landscape. These conflicts transcend mere personal disputes, evolving into cultural narratives that captivate fans and shape the genre. While they have occasionally overshadowed his musical contributions, they also underscore his resilience and ongoing relevance as an artist. 50 Cent's feuds serve as more than just a reflection of his career. They mirror the competitive spirit that propels hip-hop forward. However, amidst these high-profile conflicts, one feud remains paramount for 50 Cent to resolve, that with his son. The path to healing this fractured relationship begins with 50 Cent and Marquise setting aside their public personas and engaging in a heartfelt conversation. Open and honest communication, free from the influence of social media and external opinions, is essential for their reconciliation. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.